All right, first and foremost, give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the Son, the Mashiach, who some call your Yeshua, your Hoshua, your Hawashai, your Shayah. We mostly know as Jesus Christ. The rumor mill is spinning. Is Dowell really from Pastor Dowell of Straightway Truth? Is he's really from the line of Shem? And does it matter? Does it even matter? We not gonna hold you long on this one. We gonna go ahead and let the footage play. I got some videos. I mean, not some videos, but a couple of verses that I want to throw into the gumbo that we have to look at and we have to examine, because we speak a lot in absolutes, especially when it comes to lineage. And this is why it's very important. Let me say this too, that your identity isn't based solely on doctrine. And if your identity is like based solely on, man, a lot of you go mess around and you find something doctrinally wrong or doctrinally that you disagree or that you was teaching different. A lot of y'all gonna lose your mind. A lot of you not even gonna be able to deal. You just harped on, oh man, I'm an Israelite and I'm only an Israelite because my father's an Israelite. Then you find your great grandfather was a Edomite. A lot of you gonna jump off a bridge, man. A lot of you gonna drop this thing all together. So, doctrines change. Doctrines change. Understanding this game, more understanding this game, man. We all still learning, trying to figure this thing out. All right. And this is why people get so offended. This is why people so offended with correction and rebuke. Brother, like, deal with what we saying. And this is going to be a couple of verses that's going to be played at the end of this thing. Just deal with what the verses are saying. What are the verses saying? And we're going to have to deal with that. Let me let this video play. Salute to Pastor Rufus.
Number one thing people are saying out here on these YouTube streets and in these Hebrew
salute to Pastor Dowell
streets is that you don't love. Well, if you're not a bloodline, I can see how. Because the book also talks about your people and what they're going to do. They confederate. They confederate against us. And all the while you created this lavish, modern day slavery for your people. And they're not your people though. I understand how you can do what you do now. You don't have that bloodline blood running through you. If you do, prove it. I'll shut up. Prove it. If not, we're going to go with what the eyewitnesses have said. Because see, your daddy, Dad Dowell, who most of us met, he's told many people this. He's confessed it, that his father was a white Irishman.
Uh-oh.
He's confessed it, that his father was a white Irishman from the line of Japhet. Now, some of you that don't understand genealogy and all this kind of stuff, that would make Dowell a liar, because he wants you to believe that when the scriptures talk about how these 10 nations and all these people are going to be grabbing the skirt of a true Yehudim, he wants you to believe that's him. Can't be him, though, if you're from the line of Japhet. And we all know that it goes back through your father's line.
We all know that it goes back through your fathers. How do we know this? According to how we're interpreting Numbers 118. That's the verse most of us deal with in interpreting that it must go through the father. I haven't never heard another verse.
Not your mother's line. We ain't trapped in Judaism.
In Judaism, they say it's through the mother's line. All right. They say it's through the mother's line. Israel, most of Israel feel it's through the father's line. There are some in Israel that feel like it has to be both. Or it's through both. And then there's the whole Mamzer doctrine, and we have to look into that. I haven't took the time to look into it because so many, if we're saying that, or the situation with Pastor Dowell, if this is true that his grandfather is a Japhite, then does that make him also a Mamzer? And so we have to look into that, because that's a doctrine also for a lot of the brothers that are, that are what they call mixed. It does that fall under the Mamzer doctrine? I haven't looked into it, but that is something I need to look into. We do need to get an understanding on it. And the reason I haven't, because it's so many. If that's true, it's so many different darn, people throughout the lineage that are mixed, including the 12 tribes. But where they're the main fathers of the 12 tribes. Let's go.
Israelite today, an Israelite today is one that's not born of the flesh, but of the spirit.
Is Pastor Dowell teaching something different on the land than he teaching on camera? On camera in his interview, he's saying what?
Israelite today, an Israelite today is one that's not born of the flesh, but of the spirit, one that is born again.
So
Israelite today is one that is born again, not of the flesh, but of the spirit.
Anybody can be an Israelite
if they are born again of the water and of the spirit, been filled with the baptism of the Holy Spirit, have met the conditions of the book, and are walking in the newness of life. They are Israelites.
And I
Anybody can be an Israelite, says Pastor Dowell.
agree and disagree with him at the same time.
Then we got another brother who's reviewing what Pastor Dowell said in this video. And he's saying, I agree and I disagree.
And I love Pastor Dowell. Let's not get this twisted, right? He's been in the truth way longer than me, just like Bishop Nathaniel.
And salute to this brother, because I've been on his comments before, on some other stuff, and he's commenting on my stuff too, mostly on TikTok.
However, God has called me for a reason, and I can read. There are two versions of this. He said, an Israelite today is born of the spirit and not of the flesh. An Israelite today is born of the spirit and of the flesh. Y'all better hear what I'm saying. So a convert is born of the spirit, which just means God's laws. God's laws is his mind, his ideal, his spirit. So you convert, you are now an Israelite of the spirit by following God's laws. How the Gentiles can be grafted in. They are an Israelite of the spirit.
So he has a conversion or a proselyte, or, you can come in through the spirit, which is the law. The law is spiritual. You can come in through if you start keeping the commandments and go up under the covenant, then you can be spiritual Israel, according to this brother.
However, don't get it twisted. An Israelite today is not just an Israelite of the spirit. God is coming back for the Israelites of the flesh.
But still, God is coming back for the Israelites that are of the flesh. What is he going to do with the spiritual Israelites, though? And what scriptures do you have to substantiate your thought, or how you deal with what he's going to do with those that are just spiritual Israelites, or those that are just converts?
Where Bruce at right now? Where Bruce?
All right, y'all. Let's transition in here. Couple verses we want us to look at to throw a few more ingredients into this genealogy gumbo. We'll start at 1 Chronicles chapter 2. We're gonna start at verse 1 just to establish what we're reading here. Matter of fact, we just, for time purposes, verse 3. The sons of Judah All right. He talks about these are the sons of Israel: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, etc. Right. The sons of Judah: and Onan and Shelah, which three there born unto them of the daughter of Shua, the Canaanitess. That's what I'm saying. Out the gate, we have a mixture. All right. It's so much mixture. That's why I just didn't look into. But I'm gonna go about. We got to do it. Y'all will eventually. We got to do it. And the firstborn of Judah, was evil in the sight of the Lord, and he slew him. All right. Was evil in the sight of the Lord, and so the Lord killed him. See, a lot of y'all think y'all better than A lot of y'all think y'all walking better than The Lord killed her. And Tamar, his daughter-in-law, bare him Pharez and Zerah. That's why you got to be thankful for that grace, mercy, and that blood, man. And Tamar, his daughter-in-law, bare him Pharez and Zerah. All the sons of Judah were 5. The sons of Perez and Hezron and Hamul. Now, this we're dealing with the lineage of Judah and how this thing is being trickled down through his sons, etc. Right? Now let's go down for time purposes. Let's go down to about, we see Boaz, Obed beget Jesse. Jesse beget firstborn Eliab and Abinadab the second, Shema the third, Nathaniel the fourth, Radai the fifth, Ozim the sixth, David the seventh. And watch this, whose sisters were Zeruiah and Abigail. All right. Why they even mentioning the sisters here? Why are these people that are chronicling the history of Israel, the history of the kings? Why are they writing down his sisters? Zeruiah and Abigail. The sons of Zeruiah were Abishai and Joab. Remember the last video we just put up? We went over Joab and Amasa in their, that story of betrayal. All right. One of the sisters of David gave birth to Joab. All right. And Ashahel. All right. 3. And Abigail, this is the other sister, she bare Amasa. All right, so these Amasa and Joab are actually cousins, close cousins, being that, their mothers are sisters. And their mothers are sisters of King David from a very royal lineage. Joab wanted a piece of that, to be so close but never able to really get in there. Not really able to get in. David is Joab's uncle. But let's go look here again. Now, Abigail bare Amasa, and the father of Amasa was Jethro, a Ishmaelite. How is Amasa still in this lineage? Now, what was that we was reading? Let's go back there from yesterday's video. 2 Samuel 20, right? Watch what David says to Amasa. Yeah. Ye are my brethren, you are my bones and my flesh, wherefore then you are the last to bring back the king. He's talking to Judah. Why are you the last ones to bring back? Why are you the last ones to be happy about the king when y'all Judites, y'all are my flesh and blood? verse 13, he says, and say ye to Amasa, art thou not my bone and of my flesh? God do so to me, and more also, if thou be not captain of the host before me continually in the room of Joab. All right, instead of Joab, I'm gonna make you captain of the host. And this is what we see Joab jumping in on Amasa. All right, but he says to Amasa, art thou not my bone and my flesh? Amasa is Ishmaelite. He is from the line of Ishmael. And I've seen brothers break down when it says, because brothers don't believe that Adam and Eve were the first people, they will say, well, you know, when he's saying flesh of my flesh, it's not saying that he came from the flesh. It's just saying that Eve was a close relative of Adam. And they will use this verse because Adam said, you are flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. They'll use this verse to define that as meaning close relative. And if we go with that understanding, Amasa is a very close relative, even though his father is an Ishmaelite. And he's being promoted to the captain of the host instead of Joab. And Joab didn't take keen to that. Make sure y'all watch that video. And this definitely makes sense to you. Joab and Amasa. But what did we see here from Amasa? We're seeing that Amasa, where we was at, we had First Chronicles again, chapter 2. And Abigail bare Amasa, and the father of Amasa was Jether the Ishmaelite. All right. Now, we don't see the lineage of Amasa because Amasa was killed. But if Amasa was still alive, we will see the lineage of Amasa continuing on through this. Now, how do you know that, Brother Phoenix? Well, we're going to just keep strolling down for time purposes. You go read all of this. Make sure you read all of this, all these genealogies, to look to see if we have certain anomalies like we're seeing here today. First Chronicles chapter 2, verse 34, it says, they're still dealing with the Judites. And Sheshan had no sons, but daughters. And Sheshan had a servant, an Egyptian, whose name was Jarrah. All right, he had no sons, only daughters. And Sheshan gave his daughter to Jarrah, his servant, to wife. All right, he had a slave that was an Egyptian. He had an Egyptian slave, and he married the Egyptian. He gave his daughter to his Egyptian slave. And this too kind of shows us some of the relationships between master and slave within Israel. We get a little glimpse. Not saying it's all like this, but we get a little glimpse here. And Sheshan gave his daughter to Jarrah, his servant, to wife. And she bare him a tie. At tie, right? All right, she bare him a tie. A tie begat Nathan. Nathan begat all these jokers from under here shouldn't be Judites. They are Egyptians. Shouldn't be Judites. They should be Egyptians. Right? But somehow, some reason, they're labeled Egyptian. This whole thing continues on through this Egyptian blood. Azariah begat Helez. Helez begat Elisha. And Elisha begat Sisamah. You know, this thing continues on all the way to it deals with Caleb. And Caleb's another story, which we'll tell at another time. But I want y'all to look into that. Y'all hit the comments. with everything that we've just seen. We seen in Numbers 118 being displayed from Pastor Rufus. Pastor Dowell came in with kind of a spiritual Israel that, you know, of today, a spiritual Israel. Then a brother came in with a mixture of a spiritual Israel, but bloodline. Christ is still coming back for bloodline. What does that mean for spiritual, for the spiritual side? Then we have these two verses showing that, you know, heathen fathers are continuing a lineage within Judah. I pray this thing was edifying. Y'all hit me in the comments. Tell me what y'all thinking on this thing. Let's navigate this thing and try to harmonize these three views. With that, I say shalom. Y'all be blessed.